Hey everyone, welcome to the post-race live review for Dark Helmet Racing League Season 10, Round 3. We're at Bathurst. It was a fun race. We had 7 in platinum, 5 in silver, but 10 bronze, which is awesome to see. And some new guys out in the field as well. But it's Bathurst, and it's tricky. And we have some incidents to go through because of it. Usually one person spins and everyone else finds them. So see how many of those we find. Let's get into it. All right, so this starts with definite contact, which then looks like it gives the car too much rear damage and then has trouble controlling it when it gets to the next corner. So quite a lot of rear damage here. Now, let's just take a look at the. Did the Porsche slow a little bit more than expected? Possibly. It is lap 1. Let's go back a couple cars here. Just watch it through again. So you can see the first Porsche, the silver Porsche here, does slow a little bit early for this corner, but he is on the tighter line. So that does, plays a factor here. And he gets into him here. It's nothing I'm really concerned about that contact, but it's the amount of damage it gives to the Porsche here and ends up making it so the rear end just doesn't want to play ball when he gets to here, which avoidable contact resulting in damage, which causes, somebody's race to change is something that we do follow here. So let's just go see what Christian did here. I think he waits, but then Alex toes. And then he continues on again. So yeah, I'm gonna do a 2.5 for this. It's right on the edge of like just leaving it as a racing incident because it is on the car behind to, not drive into the car in front. But if the car in front does something that's a little out of the normal, then that's something. But you have to expect everyone to lift going into this left a bit more and possibly brake. So it's just a case of, you know, the amount of damage that and what it did to the race of the 14 or the 11, sorry. Mm. I'm very much torn here exactly what to do. Because if he lifts any more as well, he gets run into even more by the car behind him. It's not immediately behind. All right. I think it's going to stay at a 2.5. because he crosses over rather than trying to stay a little bit wide here, because he crosses in behind, I'm gonna stick with my penalty here and go 2.5. For avoidable contact. Like I said, it's right on the edge of, like, especially first lap carnage. But just to be consistent with other events from the past, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Okay. And Thomas was involved, but Thomas is just getting into the back of Christian ever so slightly. It does give Christian quite a bit of damage, but it's a stack up, and I can't blame a third car into the stack up here. So, a racing incident for him. Mooney is probably, yep, part of the carnage behind. Racing incident. Doug was the first car out, unfortunate in all this. He just gets unsighted and has nowhere to go. So racing incident for him. Now new accident. Unfortunate for Ryan here. It's a wise tow. He didn't have enough damage to need to tow, but you would have to let the whole entire field go and then possibly bash it off more walls to try to get going again. This is a weird section to go through and not make contact front to nose. If you do make contact, it's going to try to half spin you like this. So, no action. I think Jeff is the other half of this. Gives him a 2x for it. I'm not sure why. No action on that one either. I don't know why iRacing is giving 2x's for car contact these days. It's like they changed something. And this is exactly what I was talking about, why Ryan towed. But good decision here. Make sure the coast is clear before going. Just double check what caused them to spin here. Nothing. Okay, so no other car involved. No action. Sean has a crash after this. Just trying to avoid, gets off the curb and has a snap. Good avoidance by Sean. Just unlucky to be on the edge of the curb when he wanted to get going. No action. Chris. Very odd spin. It's almost like the one that Brandon had at the beginning at Mosport, just all of a sudden gone. He tows, so no action there. This was happening for a while, just before we got in there. So good save here. Very good save. And then iRacing thinks that you have the hottest rear tires known to man and spins you. Good keeping it off the wall. And good rejoin. This current tire model is annoying me with how it makes the tires just suddenly go super hot. I clip the wall. Sean probably loses it. Oh, yeah. I know what this is. This is Todd blinking in and out. He sent me a message about it. He's having computer issues. So, Todd just... everyone disappeared, came back, and then Sean was right in the screen. So, I can't see anything, so I can't do anything either. So no action on this. It's a Phantom 4X. It's netcode prediction. Oh, you almost got it. Good rejoin, though. It's almost like they went back to the original tire physics, is what it feels like. He toes, no action. Like, this is the way iRacing tires used to be, like, Gen 2, where you'd treat them slightly horribly and they just hate life overboard. And that's what I feel is happening here. Alright, so that is almost our feature done. Where is this one? Right at the end. Is this after? Did he already cross? No. Yes. No. Yeah, he hadn't crossed the line yet. Alright, so feature. First and foremost, sorry, bud. We're gonna watch Ricky trying to warm up the tires and unfortunately spinning. I've done it. We've all done it. And then you got a black flag because he was out of position. Which I think the way iRacing does it is if you are dead last, you are fine. But if you aren't dead last at this point, you would get a black flag for being out of position. So because he tries to get a spot back here, they gave him a full black as the green came out. So yeah, that sucks. Would have been nice to have him up there with Ryan, giving him a hard time. Simple stack up. I'm not too worried about it. Everyone kind of jockeying back and forwards on the brakes. These could also be racing incidents. I'm just putting no action because my mouse is there. All these are very similar in their incident. So, unexpected braking. All right, let's see here. Go cockpit. Yeah, this one's just really bad luck. So you can see here, the Ferrari comes through and hits this part of the tire wall, and that's what spits him out. If we go slow-mo here, he hits this tire wall, bounces, hits this tire wall that's facing this way, and it bounces him that way out, just into the path of Chris here. Just unfortunate luck for both of them, and it gives Chris quite a lot of damage. But it's somebody's having an accident, and another car gets involved in the accident. I can't fault anybody here. A racing incident. So these are really close to being 0x's as well, but it's just trying to go down the inside. Basically, at this point, realizes he can't get down the inside, but there is just a tiny little overlap, so they have a little clip there, which kind of makes the first Porsche get kind of squirrely, which then he hits the brakes again, and the second Porsche gets into him. So I'm fine. Racing incident again between these two. No action. Oh, that was unlucky. Lots of damage on that one, too. And toes. So nobody involved in this. Self spin. And a rejoin in the gap. So no action there. So this is just slightly clumsy. Let's just watch it through. Let's go to far. So this it's a bit of a lunge to make the move, but overlap is there for sure. He gets to the apex, but do you see the lines difference there? So you have the Porsche on the outside here, kind of arcing in this way, and this Porsche going through. This is kind of a pinched exit a little bit, and this is more where I expect the car to go, which is kind of out along here and up to the curb. So if we watch this one go through a little slower, you can see that this Porsche kind of stays on the curb, traditional line, apex, and then start exiting. But the Porsche on the outside here just kind of pinches that exit ever so slightly, which is a line you can take through here for sure. But that's what leads to the contact. So at this point, the Porsche on the inside had gained the right to be given room, and the Porsche on the outside had to do that. And I would say that's the Porsche on the outside coming down on the Porsche on the inside, not the Porsche on the inside moving out. But it's a loss of one position, and it's a very minor incident in the grand scheme of things. So, like, he got his part of that, kind of spun himself and got straightened out again. He would have lost more positions, but it's on him. I'm just going to leave this one as a racing incident, but you've heard my feedback. So if this would have been for anybody else an incident where this car spins, it could still be a penalty as well. In this case, I'm just kind of calling this a wash here between these two, is that it's a racing incident, but keep in mind, if you're the car on the inside and you don't get the apex and you don't stay there and hit this car and spun this car, then it would be on the car on the inside. In this case, the car on the inside was in control, got the apex, was definitely going to make the corner without squeezing the car on the outside off, and the car on the outside came down. So, racing incident between these two. but you can see how it could escalate if anything was slightly different. Inside wall 2x. Hate to see contact on a straight line. Let's see here. So the part of the problem on this straight is each car behaves totally different on the straight. The Ferrari was like pulling every which direction down the straight. So it's really hard to judge if it's easy to drive a car straight down the straight or not, depending on the car. And the McLaren might be bouncing around a little bit. The Mustang might be bouncing around a little bit. And that pushes them both to kind of move left and right ever so slightly, but they're not giving each other a ton of room here. So I would say the Mustang is more on the traditional line, because here you're not going to be right up against this line all the way down the straight. You're not going to be over here. You're going to be basically where he is right now. If I could turn on the racing line, which I don't think I can. Driving aids. Driving line. I don't think it applies. Yeah, I got to talk to Brandon about that. But the line would be basically here. So the Mustang is on the right line. It's the McLaren needs to kind of be a little farther to the right. The Mustang, knowing that he has the room to the left, could be moving to the left, but he doesn't have to. Which car is passing which one? Okay, so that's also important in this. The McLaren is making the move on the Mustang. So you can see here, like, they both kind of move ever so slightly left and right. And at the end here, the McLaren starts moving over to the left. Mustang's there. They make contact. Let's go into cockpit on the Mustang here really quickly. But I think it's just the steering is bouncing. So the contact there probably hit the front tire, pulled it. If we look at the contact here, the wheel goes right straight away. So the second contact, feel like there was an extra movement on the wheel that shouldn't have been there, but I can't say for sure. And we can see it a little bit from the outside, like we have the contact that makes the car jostle a little bit, and then it kind of straightens and goes a little bit, but I'm not going to put it on the Mustang. This is on the McLaren for moving over. So it's going to be a 2.5 on the McLaren for avoidable contact. Need to make sure we give enough room on the straights. Don't try to squeeze each other. It usually ends in bad time for all. That's the number 4. Okay. And then Mooney was noted. I gave Mooney a meatball for that as well. So his race is basically done. Does he tow? Does he go? Let's see. I'm okay with that rejoin. No action, which I think is this part here. Yeah, so same incident. Oh, I hit the massive curb there. No action there. What did Doug get a black flag for? Pit speeding. Or pit entry. Really nice. Waited for all the cars to go through before rejoining. Action there. And then everyone starts crossing the line, and that is it. So really, 2 incidents tonight of note. One was borderline if we need to escalate it, which was the one on the sprint, but we did, and then the one in the feature here for the contact in the straight line. Otherwise, it was a pretty clean night. Good bit of up, good bit of eyes up racing. When people did spin, they rejoined safely, and people generally were trying to give each other room. So yeah, next week we are at Monza for our Sunday race. And if you feel like joining us on Tuesday, grids are starting to get a little bit bigger. So if you feel like joining us, come on out. We are at VIR on the full course with the BMW M2 on Tuesday. So if you feel like joining us, please do. It's a free track and a free car.